So we're having a drink together. What is this called?
It's a lychee lavender margarita.
A lychee lavender margarita. I mean, we have our mixologist in-house. She makes special cocktails for our guests, and we're going to taste it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers. Garrett, you've already been drinking without us.
Cheers, sir.
Good. So, JoBrent, thank you for being on the air with me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, Garrett brought you on the show with me today, and he's told me nothing but fantastic things about you and that you have a wonderful business. And I looked you up earlier today and saw all your posts and your Instagram and your reels and all the beautiful women that you treat. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, fortunately for everyone, I don't do anything. I'm the business person.
Love it.
It would be a little different if I did, actually, the services. But what I am good at is finding the best of the best in Charlotte to provide the services that we offer, whether it's Botox, fillers, PRP for hair restoration, as well as for skin rejuvenation, cool sculpting, cool tone, custom facials, peels, and every laser you can think of for the browns and the reds and the skin rejuvenation and the collagen stimulation.
You have one location here in Charlotte.
We do.
And it's in South Park?
It is. It's right in the heart of South Park, right by South Park Mall.
There was a fire there yesterday. How close were you to that?
We were fairly close. Fairview and Sharon. So if you take like a left onto Sharon, off of Fairview, and you take the next right, we're right there.
But that didn't damage your building or anything?
Oh, no. It was smoky, but it didn't damage the building.
So let's go back in time a little bit. How long have you wanted to get into this type of business?
Well, honestly, I can't say that I wanted to.
Okay.
I can say that it became a necessity. I was an environmental lobbyist for a waste firm, garbage Barbie, if you will.
Where was this?
All over North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama. I did a lot of the mergers and acquisitions, and then I also did the lobbying in North and South Carolina.
For waste?
For waste.
You got to explain a little bit of that to me. I'm understanding there's a lobbyist for waste. Garrett, did you even know something like that existed?
I knew about this, but I wanted her to be able to tell the story.
Wow, this is amazing.
So lobbyists, we get a bad rap, but we basically educate people on our point of view, things that we know about what a landfill really is. Most of us think it's a dump. And a lot of places treat us like we're some sort of, leper, because they don't want it in their backyard. We call them the NIMBYs, not in my backyard. So it was my job to go and talk to them and convince them that this is a business, and that we give them so much money just to be a part of the community, plus the gas collection and turning the methane gas into electricity and turning it into fuel. So there were many things that we did for what you call Tier 1 communities. So your underdeveloped communities where the education system is suffering, there's no business or industry that comes into the community. And we offered them, money to host that. The former general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes was a friend of mine, and when I lived in Raleigh, and he said, JoBrent, I want you to meet this guy. I know you don't like what you're currently doing, and I think you would like this. And I was like, okay. And he's like, no, just go to dinner with him, whatever. We go to dinner, and it's garbage. And I thought, what about me said garbage to Jim Kane? I'm not sure. Anyway, and the rest is history. I don't know. He patted me on the head. He's an older gentleman, and I was, 31.
Yeah.
32. Anyway, patted me on the head, and next thing I know, I'm peddling garbage. And then we happened to be in a meeting, and with other garbage companies, we had a big group, we got together with like the vice presidents and the presidents of the different areas. And they were trying to pass a law in North Carolina about regulating waste, out-of-state waste. And the person that was in charge of that particular bill.
Vinnie Goomba.
Nope. It happened to be in North Carolina. It happened to be my godfather who was trying to prevent that. And I just kind of raised my hand and said, hey guys, I know him. That's my godfather. Can I help in any way? And that's how I became a lobbyist. I'm not kidding.
Now, I'm just curious.
Hashtag trash Barbie. I think that's what we're gonna do.
So who pays a lobbyist? Like, how do you get paid? By who?
Well, I mean, a lobbyist can be contracted. You know, there are a lot of law firms that have lobbyists, like let's say Parker Poe, some of the bigger guys. But then some people have them in-house, and not only are you their lobbyist, but you manage the lobbyists from Parker Poe. And so that was pretty much my role.
But where did your paycheck come from?
Waste Industries at that time.
Waste Industries. So you were their lobbyist.
I was their lobbyist, but I worked. I did some freelance work later on with Waste Management and Republic as well.
Was it decent pay?
Oh, it was very good pay.
Very good pay.
A lot more than I make now.
Really? Wow. Lobbyists make money, huh?
Lobbyists make good money, but they're educators. So, I mean, anybody that wants to say anything bad about the lobbyists, I'm like, it's like sending a man to the makeup counter if it's done properly. And I know there's a lot of things that go on, but it's like sending a man to the makeup counter and expecting him to make an informed decision about what makeup is best. It doesn't happen. So unless you educate these people that a landfill is not a dump, it's actually a multi-million-dollar structure before even the first piece of garbage is put into it. People don't know that. People want to believe the bad things, the sensationalized things, the old things.
How long does a waste area like a dump, how long does one of those last? Like until you have to fill it up and then go to another one?
So the garbage actually disintegrates, which is what creates the methane gas, which is one of the reasons landfill space is very expensive. It's one of the reasons to keep the recyclables out of the landfill. You know, we all want to think we're doing the right thing for the environment. And, hey, I'm not a scientist. Maybe we are. But what I can tell you is that doesn't disintegrate.
The plastics, the glass.
Doesn't, the wood.
Yep.
So you wouldn't want to put those in a landfill where you are trying to collect methane gas and turn that into, again, money.
And how does that happen?
I mean, I'm not the scientist here, but
they have like
there's a gas collection system that goes into the landfill.
When they build the landfill,
yes.
they put it in place.
Yes.
So when they do all that, the gas is, okay, got it.
And the groundwater testing and all of those things, that's in place before. You would have to put that in place before.
I mean, you wake up every single day and you throw your trash away and you don't think another thing about it.
Nope.
But the thing is, we all Americans, all humans throw away shit all the time.
Yes.
And then they don't give a shit where it goes until all of a sudden there's
Until
one in
they do.
until there's one in their backyard, right?
Yes. Yep. And then it becomes contraband.
Really?
Oh yeah, we're the bad people. We're still the mafia and all of those things.
Well, the mafia is part of the garbage.
Not in North Carolina.
In New York, I'm sure.
In Chicago, New York, maybe.
Yeah.
But not North Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, in New York, you got to pay everybody. I mean, unions and things like that. Like, it's Teamsters and it's crazy. Like, we have what we call the hunting property. It's a bunch of land up in Marshville. And my sons and I, we hunt and ride four-wheelers. And we have a cabin. And it's a nice little environment with a fishing pond. And we have a dump trailer that we bought, which is, I don't know, maybe 12 foot by 5 foot. And it's got sides on it that are metal. And we throw our trash in there. And we have to, about once every couple months, we'll take it down to the local dump. My son's like, hey, Dad, I need $40. And I'm like, for what? And he goes, got to go down there and pay the guys. I was like, throw your waste away.
Oh, absolutely. It's a very lucrative industry. When we would pull into landfills, especially when I first started, I worked with nothing but men, so they thought it was fun to pull into a landfill and roll the windows down and wait to see my reaction. I'm not easily scared. And so finally one day I looked at him, I said, I don't know about y'all, but it smells like money to me.
That's pretty funny.
Well, and if you look at, JoBrent's shoes, I couldn't imagine seeing this walk into a landfill or a dump.
Can you please explain to the audience what her shoes look like, Garrett?
They are rainbow snakeskin lift pumps.
I would say they're pumps, yes.
I mean, I know you're flexible enough to show because
It's okay.
you are.
That's amazing.
With a pink bottom.
She's wearing all pink and these super cool, like, what are they, snakeskin?
They're snakeskin, rainbow, different color.
See, that's why Garrett's on the show. I mean, he knows all the things about style and fashion. And cars.
And
watches,
jewelry.
And jewelry.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a well-rounded individual.
I like it. So how long did you work doing lobbying for the waste
12 years.
12 years. Were you based in Charlotte?
I was not. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I ended up coming to Charlotte because they said, hey, you know everybody in the legislature in South Carolina. So what do you think about moving to Charlotte? It's a little bit, easier. And I did that for about 2 years, and then we were publicly traded. We took ourselves back private to grow, and I was a casualty.
Oh, no.
So that's how the whole med spa business got started for me. I was trying to figure out who and how I was going to pay for my Botox. I was single and I just lost my big girl job.
So how long have you been getting Botox yourself?
Since I was, let's say 20 years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
I'm 50 years old, so.
Well, I'm a little older.
It's all right. You look beautiful, though.
Well, thank you.
So Botox helps with what?
It relaxes the muscles. So you can't have the wrinkle that you don't make or can't make.
Okay.
So it helps with fine lines and wrinkles. It doesn't help with static lines, which, a lot of people are like, I'm 40. It's time to get Botox. No, honey, that was about 10, maybe 15 years ago, depending on how expressive you are.
Wow. Garrett, did you know that?
Yes. Because I have been judged, ridiculed, and pressured by Miss JoBrent to
You'll
get some Botox.
thank me later.
How often do people come and get Botox?
It's indicated for 10 to 12 weeks. So every 10 to 12 weeks.
So 10 to 12 weeks. Okay. And they do multiple places on their face at one time?
Multiple. I mean, I am from the top of my head to pretty much my collarbone.
So you do chest and things like that, really?
Yes. We do what's called microtox, which relaxes the wrinkles in the chest too, especially if you're a side sleeper.
Yeah.
You'll get more wrinkles that way.
Right. And you do PRP?
We do.
That's amazing. Do you know what that is? I've had PRP many times. It's where they take your blood, they spin it in a machine, and then they re-inject the part of the blood that
the platelet-rich plasma.
Rich plasma that will turn around and enhance an area that's got maybe inflammation or some type of arthritis or ailment. Like if you've got like a wrist or a knee or something like that, you can go in and throw PRP back in it. Basically, your body's blood's healing yourself, from what I understand.
It regenerates the tissue.
Yeah.
And you definitely want that. If you are opposed to getting, Botox, and some people are, I don't understand those people, but the ones that are, you can use this, or you can use it as a combination.
Right. So we got PRP, we have lip injections, or what's
of course. We've got all kinds of injections.
So injections go from what to what? Like what range of the injections that you do?
Well, we can do it as we age, especially women. We lose volume in our temples, our under eye, and in our cheeks. Because you have to think about this. Your skull is a bone. And everybody always thinks, oh my gosh, his ears have gotten bigger because he's getting older, or his nose has gotten bigger. That's not the case. Your skull is actually deteriorating. It's a bone, right? So we go back in and replace the volume loss. So we can do it in the temples, we can do it under eye, we can do it in we call it mid-face. Everybody refers to it as cheek, but we try to stay away from that because of all of the women that are roaming around that look like cats where they've been improperly injected in the apple of the cheek, and you don't want that. We can do it to increase your profile. So there's a whole jawline filler that's out now, and not only do we put it in the jawline.
I have been considering doing that.
It's amazing for men and women. But not only do we do it in the jawline, but we do it in the chin area, so it extends the profile of the face.
And how long does it last?
They're going to tell you it lasts, anywhere from, if it's indicated to last 12 months, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to go back to baseline, but I'm going to tell you you're going to want more around 9 months.
Okay.
So, we can't stop you from aging. We can stop you from looking older.
So what do you do about hair? Do you do anything with hair?
We do. We do the PRP for hair. And we also do the microneedling, and then we put the exosomes, because you have to remember the PRP is only as good and as old as you are. And some people, in the medications you're taking that can compromise the platelet-rich plasma. So we also have something called exosomes, and that comes from the tissue of somebody between the ages of 20 and 30.
Oh.
So that might be a better option for hair for some men.
What about removal?
Oh, hair removal? Absolutely.
You do that
laser
too?
hair removal, yes.
Yeah, I need that on my back. I want to get like my shoulders and I don't have a lot. I don't have like a ton, but
Could you get laser engraved,
Yeah.
property of Audrey.
yeah, whatever. No.
Ooh, I think I could make a fortune if I do that because we also remove a lot of the oops tattoos that are basically property of.
Really?
Oh yeah, the wedding bands.
Yeah.
We've seen some interesting ones over the years.
Just got me a new one.
Ooh, I like that. What is that's obviously Japanese since you just came back from Japan.
Yeah, it's actually Chinese
Oh,
calligraphy,
Chinese.
but
Okay.
it's a Japanese meaning.
It says white man wants tattoo.
It says I love honestly, it says I love chicken. So
Or I love Chick-fil-A.
yeah, Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I did Google Translate and it picked up all kinds of. So it has like probably 100 meanings. Now it was something we collaborated with the tattoo artist, and I had just had some things go in my life. I just got over cancer.
You guys both have that in common, actually, and in a similar location.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they took off half my head.
Yes, I if you watched anything on our social media recently, we just did for Melanoma Awareness Month. May is Melanoma Awareness Month, and I had my second Mohs surgery, and it was in the middle of my forehead. So that was not much fun, but I did end up with a brow lift, a full brow lift, right before my 50th birthday.
Oh,
So
there you go.
I turned chicken. What is it?
Chicken
Salad? No.
the chicken soup or something.
Yeah, I turned chicken shit into chicken salad.
There you go.
Anyway.
Yeah, I had 42 stitches right here. I had Mohs surgery here with a big hole right
Oh,
here.
they did a nice job.
42
Wow.
stitches right here. I had 38 here and 68 on my head.
Okay, I think you win.
It's all right.
That's, I don't know how many were from here to here, but that one was from the brow lift. So anyway,
You look fantastic. So Infinite Wellness, how many people work there?
Infinity.
Oh, it's Infinity Wellness. Sorry.
Infinity MedSpa and Wellness.
Okay.
It's got to be as long as it possibly can.
Got it.
We have I think there are 14 of us now total.
Okay.
And that fluctuates. People come and go, unfortunately, but
So what year from going from a lobbyist to the spa business, and what striked your interest? You said, hey, I need someone to do my Botox, or I can't afford to do it anymore. So you said, shit, I'm going to just get in the business and do it myself.
well, kind of. So I was fortunate enough that after I lost my big girl job, I did meet my husband, and that was my first and only marriage. And so I was 42 when we met, 44 when we got married. And I had some other things going on in my life. So it did allow me to deal with those things. I had two dads die within 30 days of each other.
Wow.
One sick, one not. So that was kind of crazy, a little bit of chaos. But I, called my injector and I called my esthetician. I said, hey, what if I get a group of girls together and, you can come to my house. I'll set this up. We'll call it MedSpa Mondays. We'll do it once a month. The ones that need it, the Botox, that's 10 weeks. But, we would just rotate different people. And I had a huge group of women that were doing this. So I thought it'd be super fun to open a med spa. Yeah, no. It is by far the hardest thing I've ever done. I have a type A personality and I can't provide a single service. So imagine that for a minute.
You were organizing it. You were the planner. The thing about most entrepreneurs is they have a vision. You at least had a vision. And your vision was what?
My vision was to not get older. Let's start with the selfish component first.
Okay.
And then let's not have my friends look any older either. So, and I wanted to create a space where, things, if somebody said, who did your lips, you understand that's not a compliment, right? So we wanted to be more known to be more natural, but, just kind of zhuzhing things up here and there and starting earlier so it looks zhuzhed up and not overdone. You just look like a well-rested version of you. And that was the vision. And I really genuinely had no idea what I was getting into. But
What
I
year
love
was this?
it. This was 2016 when we opened.
Okay.
It was basically September of 2016. I met my business partner in June, and we opened in September. So.
And what did you have to go through to get open?
Oh, God. Well, first of all, my business partner, he's very silent, by the way, owns the building that we're in South Park. So the location could not have been better. But he had his dental practice down there at one point. And cleaning that out was step one. Where we currently have our inventory, there were little bags of teeth molds, if that gives you any idea.
Got it.
It looked like the apocalypse had happened because the rooms were set up. And at one point, he had tried to combine his root canal center, a hair salon, and a spa all in one space. So I had to clean all of that out and start fresh. That was interesting. And then backfilling a space, but then trying to find talent and getting people to take a chance on me, because these young ladies make really good money.
Oh.
And for them to leave the known to come to the unknown, especially for somebody like me that had no idea what I was doing in the beginning.
How'd you do it? What'd you do to entice them?
You know,
She's a lobbyist. She bribed them.
Yeah, exactly. You need a car?
I mean, pretty much it felt like that way based on, kind of what they were getting. I mean, like I said, they make a lot of money in this industry. But, I just got lucky. I'm not going to lie. 80% of all med spas that open fail within the first year. Of the 20% that make it, 80% of those fail within the second year.
And you've been open since 16.
And I did not know that until I was sitting at a conference in Vegas and they said that. And, the heart palpitations started. So.
Well, you made it.
I did.
You did. You did great.
And we're not going anywhere.
Congratulations. I mean, you got a client for life sitting right here, Gary.
Thank you very much for that.
Well, I may or may not have a client for life because I continue to make recommendations where he doesn't listen to me. But
right.
Anyway.
Now,
well, let me just put it this way. The first time that JoBrent and I really got to know one another, she sat on my lap for 4 hours.
Yep.
And we were all drunk at an awesome house party. And we were just laughing. I said, by the way, I want to come see you. She goes, oh, for the, to get Botox to fill up in your forehead? I was like, no, for cool sculpting and hair, hair removal. But thank you very much for that vote of confidence. But it was the confidence in which she said it. I haven't been able to look at myself in the mirror for the last 2 years.
Whatever.
But
you look phenomenal. Your hair hides every flaw you have.
I know. He's got great hair and great skin. Ugh.
Drives me insane. I literally am Irish. I will go out in the sun for a day and then I will be freckly tomorrow. It's the Irish skin. It's horrible.
But yeah, my husband's pretty much the same way.
Yeah. But
JoBrent just went on a girls' trip and had a blast, but it was funny because all of her posts were forcing the women to put on
like a spray tan.
Layers of sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
I said, if you were a smart businesswoman, you would say, no problem, I'll see you next week for the treatments.
Yeah.
She goes, but I'm a better friend.
I'm a better friend. Gotta do the sunscreen.
She's that kind of person. JoBrent has one of the biggest hearts I know.
Love it. So are you ever going to open a second location or is one enough?
That's the $20 million question, I guess. Over the years, people certainly have approached me about joining forces, about being bought out. The multipliers are 5 in this industry. So if you get 5, then the big guys come and just, swallow you up. I don't know. I kind of like the boutique feel where I know the patients, and they're my friends. Yes.
Okay. So you're the face, you're the spokesperson, you're the lobbyist, you're the one there every day making relationships every day.
Yes. Not as often as I used to be. Actually, it's funny. The front desk is the hardest position to keep people in that role. And it's my favorite role there because I like to talk to people.
Yeah, I love it. That's me when I walk into my stores. I literally be sitting behind the counter. And next thing you know, a customer walks in, gets his car attended. I'm over there outside shooting the shit, talking about something else. And next thing you know, I made a friend on Facebook and he's hitting me up next week. And it's like,
right.
You guys are very similar personalities in that regard.
I've met most of my really good friends by being a client first.
Yes.
And I've been tinting windows for 30 years in Charlotte. So, I mean, I've met, I can't even tell you how many people.
Wow.
But your talent, if you have the business, like you have an established, amazing business, talent finds you now, I bet.
Oh, I was telling someone the other day, it's very different when we, people come and go in this industry. It's just the reality that I'm working to try to accept. I'm not very good at it because I get so close to these young ladies and I didn't have children, and a lot of them feel like, even I don't mean that they're children,
sure,
but they kind of feel like my children, right? Because I do everything to help them, protect them, provide for them. and then they leave. So that's like a dagger to the heart.
I know the feeling.
But now when someone does leave and we put out, a job posting, the caliber of people that we're getting it just gets better and better, and which is nice because then I don't have to be responsible for them doing all the training.
Right.
And it helps to grow that way.
I think when you get established, like in any type of industry, and you build a name for yourself, the people that work for you do a lot of talking to other people, and they kind of spread the rumors that this is the place to work, or this is the place that you have the more opportunity to grow or make more money, depending on, like in our business, we have skilled labor. Our skilled labor knows in forums and chat rooms, we all know each other and they interact with each other. And then we build a good name for ourselves, and they want a good working environment, and then they want to come here and actually work. And I'm sure you've done the same thing. The lip injections.
Yes.
Do you think it's getting out of control?
I think it has been publicized as getting out of control. I think nobody makes fun of the person that looks natural. So
Right.
it's much easier to make fun of the person that doesn't look
I
natural.
walk through the mall, and I will sit there and I will laugh my ass off because girls are literally walking around with like their lips look like they're inflated. They look like they just got a mosquito bite or a spider bite. It's crazy. I mean, that can't feel good. It can't be comfortable. Can you even eat food and like?
Oh, absolutely.
Enjoy.
That's not the issue. The issue is mostly from an aesthetic standpoint.
Yeah.
But you would be amazed at people that want to look like that, and then people that we turn down.
It's incredible.
And there are plenty of places in Charlotte that do that. Because again, if somebody says, "Who did your lips?" that's still not a compliment. And
If
if
it
you
looks
say
horrible.
Infinity, well, if it looks good, they're not going to say, "Who did your lips?"
That's right.
They're going to ask,
Why you
Right.
ask?
You know,
Why do you ask?
What are you doing?
What
You
do
look
mean?
great.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? What do you mean? I didn't get my lips done.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And no, I do still have some friends, and hopefully y'all are listening, that say they don't get Botox. What they really mean is they're not getting Botox at Infinity. Botox, I call it the gateway drug, because so many people come in to get Botox and don't realize that they need something for their skin as well, like our facials or lasers for their skin tone and texture. I always tell them you can't iron a dirty shirt.
Oh.
I mean, you could, but you wouldn't want to wear it.
Yeah, I have really dry skin, and I need to get a facial. I've never had any type of treatment.
I was just about to ask JoBrent. I know as soon as she walked through the door, she thought of 7 different things that she would do if you walked into her place. I would want to hear
Yeah, I mean,
what she
listen.
would do.
Okay,
What
again,
she would
still,
recommend.
she wouldn't do them.
No, but what she would
Yeah,
recommend.
the thing is, if I was to pick 2, just 2, not the whole works, but if I was to come in, you got to ease. You don't. I mean, I'm 50 years old. I'm aging, and I definitely have more wrinkles and things like that. But I've heard from women, I don't know this to be exactly true, but I've heard this from a test audience, that they really love the manly look of the wrinkles and me aging the way I'm aging. I'm 50. I don't think I look 50, but they like the roughness, the masculine look of it.
So men as they get older look like Sean Connery. Women as we get older also look like Sean Connery. So hence why I have the business that I have.
Right.
But no, men should take care of themselves
Sure.
too.
No, I
and
agree.
if you asked me what I would, the 2 things that I would tell you.
Yeah.
One, I would tell you need regular facials.
Okay.
Because that's going to help with your skin tone and texture.
Okay.
The second one would be, and I would probably need some help from your better half.
Yeah.
But you need regular skin care.
Yes.
You need definitely a nighttime moisturizer and a daytime moisturizer and
All these things.
a
to
good
remember to
cleanser other than Dove soap or whatever it is you're using. I'm sure all men do this. It's
When he's really grumpy and sad and in a bad mood, that's what I will do. I will put all my little serums on his face
does.
and I'll
See?
massage his face and put all the moisturizer, and
I
he
think
loves it. But I can only do it when he's sad and
Yeah,
like
I get
wants to lay
depressed.
around.
I'll
Otherwise,
sit
I
in
can't
bed and
catch him.
yeah, I'm usually busy and moving all over the place. I'm hyper.
Why does the image of the bulldog on its back getting its nails filed with the mask on its face come to mind right now?
I like that actually.
okay. I see it. Yep, I see it.
It's just Audrey sitting there, just
No.
working away.
The one thing I have a problem with is my nails. I've been biting my fingernails for 20 years. It's one of those nervous energy things. And then I've been trying.
This is how I prevent it.
I have been trying to quit. I just need somebody to put fake nails on me. I'm not kidding.
It'll stop.
I need to do that.
It will stop.
I would love.
I'm terrible at that too.
I want to get hypnotized where I just wake up one day and be like, nope, I'm calm now.
No. I want to see the Mike Burke with acrylic nails. That's what I want to see.
No problem, as long as they look natural. You do the nails too?
Oh, I have SNS on my nails. These are actually, for the first time in my life, these are finally mine. But there's an SNS coating that goes over top of it because they're still so thin.
You're going to have to hook me up with somebody to help me quit biting my fingernails. So Garrett tells me you're a car lady too. What kind of car are you driving?
A Macan.
Porsche Macan. You're a Porsche. You like Porsches?
That's my new fix. Yeah. The only thing I'll say is I kind of got in a little more of a comfy Mercedes SUV, which had cameras all the way around it. So I got a little spoiled.
Right.
The sports cars don't have quite the cameras.
Got
and
it.
I should always go forward.
Have you ever driven a Tesla?
Oh, yes. My husband has a Tesla.
You like it?
He's got a Model Y.
Yeah, that's what we have. We have a
Performance.
We have a performance one too. So one question. The young ladies of the world today, do you think there's too much pressure on like
Absolutely.
16, 15, 14, 20?
Absolutely.
I feel like there's just a abnormal amount of pressure on these women to just conform to a look.
I mean, I think we've been dealing with that our whole lives as women, right? Back in the day when Twiggy was the supermodel, I mean, I don't know what this woman weighed, but there was not an ounce of fat on her
Right.
body.
No, she can hide behind that mic stand right there.
Right. And I think we've always tried to live up to whatever social norm is for the moment, whether it's, we had a big movement recently of being fluffier, and then the whole Ozempic thing came out. And now everybody not as fluffy again. And I feel like we're going to get back to the Twiggy. I just think you should be but young girls should be coached to be what they want to be, what it's possible for their body type. Because I'll never be a twig. I'll always have curves. I've always had curves my whole life. And you just learn to dress around them. And fashion, pushes you to look a certain way or be a certain way. I'm never going to be tall, but I have on 5.5-inch heels. So there's ways around things without conforming.
Right.
But I do think, especially in this day and time, I can't tell you how many women come in, and when I say women, younger women,
Yes.
come in with filters. They put a filter on their face and they want to look like that. Well, honey, so do I. But that's not reality.
When people look at magazines and they look at online and they look at the Kardashians and all these types of people, there's a thing called Photoshop.
Right.
And these
And
women
filters.
and filters, and they don't understand that these people that are looking perfect aren't perfect.
Nope.
You see them sitting right next to you, you'd be like, holy shit, she looks, natural.
The Kardashians would actually buy their photographs that paparazzi would send and buy them, alter them, and then send them to
I've heard that, actually.
People Magazine, Us, everything, so
Anything
that they can make sure that they are as perfect.
Right. It's crazy.
Well, think about it, guys. As soon as airbrushing came out, Playboy, what did that do to us, our image? There's not a dimple, a wrinkle, a freckle.
No hair.
Yeah. I mean, the 80s.
Well, that's what I mean. Is now there's no hair, whereas
Yeah.
the 80s it was all about. Oh my God, you could see a bush.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's a resurgence of that and underarm hair, but
no, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm not getting a chainsaw out. I'm sorry.
No, and no, thank you.
That's not remotely attractive.
No.
I think back in the college days, people had mohawks, but that's about it.
Yeah. Landing strips. They were called landing strips.
I love it. Now, I just feel the pressure of being a woman in today's age is very difficult.
Personal experience.
No, I've got friends that have young daughters that are 17, 18, and I hear him talking about the outfits, the pressure, to look a certain way, the clothes, like he's over there going, man, I'm going broke trying to take care of my daughter. And I said, why? And he's like, she's always needing fresh boots, fresh dresses. I mean, always new outfits, and she can't wear the same outfit more than 2 or 3 times. And then they've got so much pressure in society because they're constantly on Instagram and social media, I think has ruined it for a lot of women. They're
That's
trying
not
to,
just the young girls.
the older girls too.
It's the older girls too.
So I want to ask another question here. If I was to come in and get Botox on my eyes, how many treatments would it take to get me looking as good as I need to look? And how much would it cost on average?
Ooh, so again, still not the professional on this.
Okay.
The good news is we offer complimentary consultations, so they can tell you expectations.
Okay.
You do have some static lines. So
What is a static line?
A line that is there whether you are making an expression or not.
Right.
So it would take us a while to, more than likely, the static line, we can diminish the appearance of the static line because you can't continue to use that muscle to create the static line. But for the most part, once they are static, they don't really go away.
Okay.
For most people.
And where is the static line? On my forehead?
No, actually, through here.
Through here?
Yep.
Okay. Those are my smile lines, right?
I know. Those are your life experience lines, or you had a good time lines.
Exactly.
Which you want those. But, and like you said, men get away with a lot more than women do. So I don't think that's offensive. But if you're talking Botox for you,
What's one treatment cost?
it varies. It's based on the number of units.
Okay.
So,
1 unit versus 5. How many units do you usually get?
the national average is, I believe it's 35 units, even though people want to come in and say, my friend got 10 units. And I'm like, okay, you and your friend are not even related, and your faces are sisters, not twins.
Right.
But most people need around 35 units, and that's spread all out to give you a treat to complete component, and they're $13 a unit. So,
Okay. Got it. That makes sense.
but the more that if you're not willing to spend the money, then choose something else. Because if you come in and you're underdosed, you're not going to get the longevity out of it that you need. And will more than likely, will turn you away because people come in and say, I have $200 to spend. Well, why don't we put that $200 on your account? And then the next time you have $200, we'll put that on the account and then let's start there. That would be a better place to start.
What's a facial cost?
Facials are $150.
That's where the 200 should have started.
Well, you need skin health. People underestimate skin health and the importance of skin health because skin tone and texture can make you look equally as old as expression lines.
Right.
You really have to take care of your skin tone and texture because even if you get a facelift, if your skin tone and texture still looks like shit, the facelift, you're just going to look like an older woman whose face doesn't move. Same thing for Botox, an older woman whose face doesn't move. Same thing for filler.
Right.
They really do go hand in hand, and lasers are extremely important too for the
What's a
redness
laser
and the
do?
brown. So there are lasers that do many, many things. Pigment, they can help correct pigment. It can help stimulate collagen. It can help get rid of hair. It can just plump things up for you.
I've done several different variations of laser.
I was wondering how you look so damn good.
So I have on my skin journey since I was young. I did Proactive. I did topical antibiotics. I did ingestible antibiotics. I did Accutane.
Oof, don't even.
And I still didn't have great skin. And it wasn't until I started doing Smooth Beam and V Beam, which are now ancient, that I started seeing results. And then I did PDT, photodynamic therapy. And I did it with the enzyme, which is phenomenal because they wash your face with acetone, so your lungs are burning while you're getting your face basically stripped off.
Lasers have come a long, long way.
And then you sit in front of what's effectively a UV light that activates this enzyme, and you quite literally feel this tingling, which is the enzyme actually eating away at your skin.
Huh.
And
You do this?
No.
Not anymore. And what it would do is it would still be UV activated for about 72 hours. So you could not be in the sun. Otherwise, you'd be, as red as that tie right there.
Well, you're also damaging the skin again.
Right.
Which you don't want to do that, especially if you have any acne scarring. Because obviously a lot of this was for acne. If you have any acne scarring, you're just going to make it worse by, getting sun on that area.
And that's finally what actually eliminated my acne. And I didn't start using moisturizer until December.
So you
Didn't
quit.
hear that.
So you said earlier that you don't do any crazy things. You do more natural. So if you're going to do Botox, you're going to do lip injections, or anything you do at your spa, you kind of make it very clear that we're the natural spa. We're the ones that you want to make sure if you go to the mall, people go, maybe she had Botox, but I'm not sure. Right?
Right.
You want to be that person.
That's our image.
I love that.
You're not going to enhance. You're not going to reverse. You're just going to slow and naturalize.
We're going to enhance for sure, but we're going to make it look like a well-rested you.
Do some women have problems? Do you think they're addicted to these types of things, and they just
Oh my God, yes,
they're addicted?
yes,
They're just constantly addicted.
yes.
Right. That's good for
and-
you, right?
No, we turn them away.
Really?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, again, I'm not the medical professional, but
Right.
they all have an oath to turn them away and do what's best for the patient. And that's not feeding our bottom line and making people look fake. Because again, Charlotte's a very small community.
Right.
And if you do that to someone
with a
and
lot
they,
of big mouths.
with a lot of big mouths.
When you've got someone that injects Botox, what like education or criteria or license do you have to do that?
So for me, they have to be mid-levels, which is either a nurse practitioner or a PA.
Okay. So it's that high. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
Some of the best injectors I know are also RNs. However, because we don't have a medical doctor at our facility, we have two actually, amazing plastic surgeons that oversee everything that we do, but they're not on property. So because of that, we have to have mid-levels.
Do you use the plastic surgeons as a base to get products, or can they? I'm just curious as far as like buying these products. Do you have to have a certain license to be able to buy these products?
Yes,
Got it. And they're the license,
they're the license.
the two plastic surgeons.
Yes.
And using their license.
Yes.
And then the nurse practitioners are working under them.
Yes.
Okay. So they obviously get
They're
a cut.
under them on the medical board. There's a partnership there with
Okay.
them.
Okay.
An agreement with the partnership agreement
Sure.
with them as well.
Yeah. Now these nurse practitioners work for you.
They do.
Okay. So
They
you're
work for-
employees.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
It's almost like real estate agents under a broker.
Right.
So you have to have a broker that can own the brokerage, but then
Right.
you've got all the real estate agents that utilize that license to
Right.
practice real
It's like
estate.
it's like Alan Tate, and you got like a broker that has people under you.
Right.
And they're
Yes.
like okay, got it. So if the shit hits the fan, it's the person on top that usually the broker is the one that gets in trouble.
I mean, yes, it's going to be. Essentially all of us, but
There's a liability.
there is a liability. Yes, I mean, and we're very heavily insured for that
Insurance.
very reason. Yes.
Now, who insures you? Who insures? What happens for insurance? I'm just curious. How does that work?
No, I mean there are various people that insure you for that.
And what are you insuring for? Messing up their face, getting bad chemicals.
It wouldn't be bad chemicals. Any kind of damage that results from negligence, I guess would be the best way to say it. That they can prove results
Has
from
anything
negligence.
ever happened like that?
I'm going to knock on wood, but no.
Okay.
So that's the one thing, when people go to a med spa, they don't take it, a lot of folks don't take it seriously. They don't understand that things can happen. Getting lip injections, if you could get a vascular occlusion, which turns into necrotic tissue, and people don't understand that is a big deal and could disfigure you. So that's why it's always best to have the best of the best and the people that are trained and continue to get trainings on all of the things that we offer.
Right.
But yes, it
Is there
can.
continual education? Is there
There
newer
is,
products
and they
coming
have
out?
they have to do that. And yes, the new products that come out. I mean, that's kind of an easy one for us. We have great relationships with our reps, but the reps want you using their products, so they provide the training for that as
Right.
well. And we're continuing to train, and that would be a goal for me in the future. Our space is so big that there's a back room that we pretty much use as a conference room.
Okay.
I think it's a little under 1,200 square feet.
Conference room. Spare room.
Spare room. We have events back there, but so underutilized. But I would like to see over the next few years to turn that into a training center for injectables.
That's cool. My
that
first
way I
house was
can-
like 1,200 square feet.
It's a big room. What I like about Infinity is that even as a guy walking in there, you're comfortable.
Right.
You're always greeted with someone at the front desk that has a smile on their face, and it's not intimidating. A lot of guys still won't get a manicure because they think it's not right.
Right.
But to walk in there and see someone greet you with confidence and say, "No problem, we'll take care of you," when I do grow the balls to actually have stuff done to my face, it's only going to be Joe
And again,
Brent's team.
to his face.
Right.
As he just
I said to my
mentioned.
face,
Yeah,
to my face, it will be Joe Brent's team that does it.
If you were going to give some advice to someone to get in this business, like doesn't live here, but like was listening and said, hey, they're interested in this
Or there's a
space,
need
or there's
in
a
that
need.
area.
Yeah. So what's the first like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Like if you were to give me the steps of someone wanting to get into doing what you're doing.
Get out of my head.
Run. Put your big girl panties on. I would say know the market. Know the players in the market. Know what the consumer feels comfortable in doing and spending. What the need is there. I think that would definitely be step 1, and who the competitors are, who the players in the market. Step 2 is figure out a way to develop a team. Because again, when you are first starting out, I don't know that you're going to get the best of the best. And it's a big leap of faith. So you have to figure out a way to make those people develop into what you want them to be.
Right.
Because it is very people dependent. And unfortunately, like I said, people do leave. And then you've got to figure out how to get the next best person in there. So always have something, which again, for me with the training center as a goal, that would be, I would find some way and create a relationship with people that have training available. Because even with the estheticians, they don't even teach them to dermaplane in the schools. So, that's a basic thing for us for every facial, and they don't teach them to do that. That's why straight out of school, I can't hire somebody straight out of school because I have no way to teach them or train them.
Right.
It would have to be one of their coworkers. And I would love to tell you that that's a thing, but it's not, because the coworkers, no matter how family oriented you are, and no matter how much they like each other, at the end of the day, they view each other as competition.
It's about making money.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
They're not there to really make friends.
getting financing to open up your facility and also marketing. Hit on those two.
I was very fortunate that my business partner, financing is something that we didn't have to do. Other than, we financed the lasers. Everything else, pretty much, we were able to do on our own. And, the lasers, we pay them off. That's like paying off cars, by the way. Those things, houses for some people. Expensive cars, let me say that. But, we just financed them through these companies that do this. And
So a laser could be 50, 80,000 more.
Oh, now you're just talking a hydrofacial. That's sweet. No, the lasers are a lot more than that. They can be let's range them anywhere between, and you want the good ones because they do break. So the good ones come with
Warranty and help, and
which you
right.
also pay for, by the way. That's not included in the price, but you have to have a company that can get things to you, and companies in Korea just can't. And a lot of this stuff will come out of countries like Korea. And so you're looking at probably 125 on the low end, up to 225.
Who's your competition in town? Do you have anybody
Oh, we have a lot of competition
that
in
have
town.
this that have this type of equipment? Or
A lot of them have equipment. There are only probably 3 that I can think of that have the kind of equipment that we have. A lot of plastic surgeons have a division of a med spa, but they don't invest in the lasers like we do. But other med spas do.
and how often do you need to change and upgrade these lasers?
It's like a car.
About every 5 years, 7 years.
Yeah, about as soon as you make that last payment.
That's
let's
about when
look.
you-
That's about when you need to upgrade.
Wow,
Yep.
that's expensive. I would have never thought they cost that much.
It's extremely expensive. A plastic surgeon, their margins are anywhere between 40 and 60% profitability, right? A med spa, a good one, is 10 to 12%. We're currently at 17, so we're
Good for
doing
you.
better than that. But it's so capital intensive, and labor costs
Yes.
are extremely.
My business is the same. We're heavy labor, and you've got to pay these guys what they're worth, or they're going to bounce and go somewhere else.
And even when you pay them what they're worth,
I know. Yeah.
they bounce and go somewhere else. My favorite is them going and opening up their places on their own after
Yeah.
you've paid them so well. That's
Well,
my all-time favorite.
Yeah, I've had a few of those. And the thing is, what happens is 3 of them came back because they're good at what they do. They just don't understand the business, the insurance, the taxes.
Right.
And then 3 years later, the IRS is after them because they haven't paid taxes. They haven't paid, income tax. Then they also haven't paid the sales tax. And then it's just so many other things behind a business. Entrepreneurship is very difficult. I mean, there's lots of hats that people have to wear. And it's not all a bed of roses. It's taken me 30 years to get to where I'm at today. 30. Yeah. So when people look at me and they go, how do you get rich quick? And I said, there's no magic fucking formula. It's like going to the gym fat and the next day trying to be skinny. I mean, if you're going to the gym, fat guy, you have to go a year and go, dude, lose a pound a week. Yeah. Just a pound a fucking week, man. Lose 52 pounds and you'll look great in a year. Put a year plan together. Everybody wants to take a pill and get it quick.
Well, I just say I identify as skinny.
What's that?
I just say I identify as skinny.
I don't know.
It's the same with us. They come in and they get Botox and they think they should magically look younger. It's a skin journey.
Right.
I mean, it's like going to the gym. It's not going to happen overnight. This didn't happen to you You didn't suddenly look older.
Took you 50 years to get older.
Right.
It's going to take you maybe a good year of treatments to...
I mean, it's going to take a minute. We've got to get your skin healthy and
again.
you've got to commit to doing all the things. The other thing you have to commit to is a better diet because everything you ingest,
Yes.
your skin is your largest organ. So guess what? So, I mean, if dairy, if you've got acne and you're still eating dairy, it's probably not the best thing.
Birthday cake once a year is all right.
Birthday cake once a year.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt you. Anyway, well, thank you so much for coming on the air. You're amazing. Your personality is electric. I love it. It's
She's
awesome.
pretty cool.
I mean, the outfit is sick. I mean, if we were walking through the mall, you would be screaming at me, bling, bling. I love it. The pink. You like pink? Pink's your color?
Pink is my color.
Love it. Well, it's
Pink
nice.
and bling. And you can never have too much pink, too much bling, and too much glitter.
Glitter.
Wow,
that's not my thing. Garrett, thanks for being on the air. JoBrent, it's JoBrent.
It is.
Yeah, and Infinity
MedSpa
in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
If you're a woman or a man trying to look your best, give them a visit. I'm actually going to go check it out.
I think you should. I think we
I
need some
was going
social
to
media
say,
pictures of this. And
I'm thinking I'm sliding you in for a facial next week sometime.
No problem.
I think that'd be awesome.
I use Photoshop, so my pictures always look great.
Good. You took a picture of us earlier. I'll be expecting that. Don't put the filter on just you.
I have a very good editor. He's very good. His name's Micah. He's the man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the air. It was awesome.
Thank you.
This has been an awesome show. Signing off, Mike Burke.